goes Legos, bricks and toys.
Alright, build fans, I just had a gigantic allergy attack. My wife was like, she came in, we were all hanging out, and she, I guess, put on this lotion or whatever, and all of a sudden I just started sneezing like crazy. And I told her, I was like, hey, I'm going to have to go away, go build, finish this last bag, right? I was like, but I got to get away from whatever is causing me issues. So hopefully I don't go into another sneezing fit. Hey, day 19, very last day. So this has been quite a journey. It's been a very cool piece. We have one thing missing and haven't quite found an alternative for it yet. I'm still working on that, but this has been a fun piece. All we have left is that head. That's it. Bag 19, we got 19 and 19-1. Obviously right over there. So let's see. That's me and that's the build. I had to bring out the other camera because it is so large. It's like, hey, we got to look at the whole thing on the build table. So, yeah, this is quite a build. There's a part of me that's quietly hoping that there's like some random small like red dotted stud in here that I could use for the last missile over there, but I don't think that's going to be the case. But I looked everywhere. I looked on the floor. I was like, maybe it's in a bucket. Maybe it's like no, nowhere else around. It's not there. So that was truly a missing piece, right? Okay, so let's pull up our Lego app. Again, we're comparing. We're looking to see, hey, is this like the Lego one? And for the most part, most of it, yeah, straight on. Now, quality of things, there's a few, like the red does feel a little off. We do have some, the color issues with the pink, and that was with the engines. That one was problematic, and then the ones up here in the shoulder, that was also problematic. So we do have issues, but all in all, a pretty good build. Printed pieces are actually printed, so that's always good. And yeah, it's pretty much fire so far. Okay, so we're starting off $5.95 right here. Same exact thing, nothing changed. We got one of those channel bricks. I call them channel bricks because they've got like a little groove on them. These are really good if you're trying to hide wires and stuff. Lego should do more structural builds with channel bricks, honestly. Kind of like what Luma Bricks does, right? Okay, so looking at this so far, 96, 97, same thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got kind of half Travis's. And then we've got some 1x2 by 2x2 snot bricks. There you go. Look at that. So far, same thing. Okay, now we're going to grab ourselves a couple L plates, and I'm looking, and so far nothing is different, which is kind of what we want. We're stacking another set up on top. Nothing has, like again, nothing has deviated. So 98, 99, let's see if 99 is the same. Our first deviation. Okay, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and take our kind of pinkish, not sure what you'd call that. That's, I guess it's like a pink brick. I'm looking to see if there's any of these in here. No. So I think that's it, right? So instead of doing, this one has us doing 2 snots on it. Instead of that, Lego has us putting a rocker plate on the bottom. And then we put the 2 snots on. So AliExpress has basically they've given the rocker plate several instructions later, and they have us putting other pieces on first. Now we're going to go with the Lego base version. Either one would work, to be quite honest. I don't think the order of these particular pieces really matter in the long run, but there is that key difference in that, hey, they're having you put these on at different times. Lego has us putting this on at this time. Most of the time I go with the Lego part of the instructions versus the AliExpress. However, there's been a few times where it's like I actually prefer the AliExpress version of it. But just to keep this in mind, this is an AliExpress kit. It's not a Lego. Alright, we have a 6x6 round plate. And of course those edges are rounded off, so we're not, it's like a big circle. And we're going to be putting two 2x2s right here on the end. Here and here. And yep, same thing here. Okay. I got 1, 2. These are, let's see, what are these? These are 1x8s. Said Mo did that for me. You guys jealous yet of my Lego tattoo? I actually need to talk to Mo, because I was going to get some more work done. I've got a Peely minifigure tattoo that I'm wanting to get put on. And then I still need to get my Technic bar thing over here as well. I took cues from Adam Savage, because he's got the model maker scale, or the metric scale tattoo on his arm, and it's like I wanted kind of the same thing, but since I work in building blocks, it's like that would be a much better thing for me to have. So I kind of get to show my love of brick building, love of toys. Should still get an actual like ruler, but I would probably go with standard, just because that's what I'm more used to. Okay, now we got these really teeny tiny. Now these are not our usual, and they are not the translucent pink, so that's good. But these are like half bricks that go up to one plate, so they're specific to, I guess, this set, maybe. Yeah, you just don't see those. Or is that a full brick? Let's see. I mean, I guess, no? I mean, it's a brick height. I guess it is a full brick. Yeah. It looked strange to me. Okay, so we're down here on this. Now, this has us putting other pieces on over here, and then putting this on. Again, we're going to follow with the Lego one. 1 and 2. Boom. And boom. And then this one right here. Boom. Oof. Man, my sinuses. And then we got a 2x3 brick here. Now this is going to be going up here, so it's going to be a relatively large hand. It won't be quite as big as this Durr Burger, I don't think. It won't be like that big, though. I kind of wondered, like, that actually wouldn't be such a bad look for thinking about it. Like, that actually be kind of cool. But yeah, no. We got Cuddle Team Leader's head on there. That's what we're going with. Now, again, we're skipping around because before we're putting the parts in, and then we're putting the trim. Lego has us putting the trim and then stacking the parts to move front to back. There is that key difference. That is something to keep in mind. But will it change the build? No. Will not change the build. So far, the only thing that has been different than the instructions was the color of the parts that we had on the engines, the back engines. That is the key difference. looky here. Need to lock in. 1, 2, this actually goes up and up. There we go. There we go. That's looking good. Now we've got these 1x1 round plates. Call them stuttards. And then we're adding the 2 plates that are going on top. Or the 2 rounded one-step curved tile plates, or whatever we want to call it. So this is going to step this whole thing up by 1 jump up to there. So you see it is going to move upwards. And then we get a 1x2. Now, looking over here, all of this is being stacked in. Here, see if I can get it down here. All this is being stacked in down here. And we're over in this section here adding to it, whereas they had us putting other stuff in here. We're not doing that until a minute. So they're kind of skipping around and having us, I guess, like outline the base first and then pull up, whereas Lego's having us do this section and then move down. There we go. So now we're putting these pieces on, but we're doing it after the fact. And again, nothing wrong with it. It doesn't necessarily change anything. Like, it just the order of how we're doing it, but it doesn't, change the build. It doesn't make the build stronger or weaker, none of that. Just means we're putting them on at different times, which could be something as simple as, hey, when we put this on, it'll be a lot easier than this. And I found sometimes with AliExpress, sometimes it feels like it's a lot easier, and then a lot of times, so Lego is kind of the winner in how they're putting it together. Okay. So we got this is going on here. We got 2 of these I think they're like 1x3 arches to 1 plate. Yeah. Not quite sure what we're doing here, but like I said, we'll just stick with it and find out, right? Because this is all the last pieces we have. After I do this, I'm going to check our directions, make sure everything is kind of where we're at. So 1 and 2. All right. Yeah, so we're here now, but we've got these parts on. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so we're building this section up now, but we've done it after the fact. Okay, so we got a pink, and then 1, and 2 right here. Okay. So 1 and 2, we're going to put these on. We've got our 1x4 plate that's going in here. We got our dark pink 1x2, and then our 2 caps, 1 and 2. That's going to go 1 here and 1 here. So lots of texture building and smoothing this out at this point. And I'm wondering if this is like maybe the back of the head. Yeah, here we go. So this should line up right here with this. So I'm looking here, and yeah, that looks right. Let's turn the page and see kind of if that's what they're wanting us to do. Yeah, same thing. And then we start building up the front. Now we're starting down here. Already off the bat, same thing. So we got a 4x4. We're putting a 2x2 on there. They just had the position changed. So instead of it being like this, it's the other direction. Lego's doing it this way. Okay, 1 and 2. And then a 2x6 is going right up here. 2x6. All right, now we've got 2 brackets, 1x2 by 2x2, or 1x2 by 1x2, actually. So 1 and 2. Okay, right here. So this is kind of where we're at. Now they have us putting this piece in here. We're skipping that for right now and going here. So again, some things out of order. It doesn't necessarily, again, it doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that they've moved things around probably for reasons of copyright and all that. You know, just to appease the name brand gods here. Of course, that's crazy to say name brand gods, but it's like pretty much basically like Lego. Just I say, well, no, ours is different for sure, for sure. But like I said, you could use the book or the app. Either one would work with this particular set. I prefer a little bit of both, but I mean, the goal is for us to see how close is it. You know, is it kind of the same? Is it not? So that's kind of what we're trying to answer here. Moved this territory, so we're now caught up here, and now we're moving over. So we got 1 and 2, and then we've got our 1 right here. I'm wondering, I think this might be maybe the eyes. So 1 and 2 right here, and then we have our cheese wedge. So we have a wedge in here that is going to kind of go down on the brow. Boom. It goes down like this. Yeah, I think that's the eyes. So that's where we're at. We got 1, 2 of these, and then a 1x2 half circle tile. So let's put them on 1 and 2, and then 1. Got our little bear face. Okay, so 1 and 2 right here. So we're gonna stack them. Boom, and that's gonna go right here. And that looks like we're using a couple of rockers. So 1 and 2 right here. So we got rocker plates in. And then, oh, we're going to go ahead and put these rockers in here. So instead of these being the 2x2s, or the 4-ups, we're going to be going 2-ups with 1x2s. There you go. And then we've got these 2 pieces here. So these are those kind of curved off tile pieces that step. Use them a lot for cars, etc. So we're going to pop them in here, and then boom. There we go. Whoops. And this should fit right under here. Now, one thing I do like about the app is that it allows us to see kind of where things would go. So we know that that lines up together here because I see it right there on the app. And I think that's where I like having the app version, because normally I don't use the app, but in this case, for what we're doing here, it makes total sense. Okay, now let's set that over here, and then we are building up this way. So we're going to take this, we're going to step it onto here. Actually, I think, yeah, this is the one we need right here. 1 and 2, and then we've got this that goes here. And then we've got some 1x3 that goes right here. So this is one of those where it's hard to tell what is it that we're making, because this doesn't make sense. But this is kind of where you have to like trust the process, because obviously we are building up to something. Okay. Now, over here, boom, boom, boom. We're building this up, and it looks like this is going to be the side of a head. So I think that's kind of what we're building up to. I'm going to go ahead and take this right here, plug it in, and this one should go right in here. Okay, I see. So it's the bottom collar of the head is basically what it is. So where this is to fit in and finish up this collar all the way around. And then we're going to be using these clips probably to clip something onto the side of the head to allow it to move. We're going to push these up until we know how much space we need, okay? There we go. That's a little bit better. Press this in. Okay. Now, so we're here. Now looks like we're possibly building up this section over here. So they have us building. No, we're doing it right. We're going the right direction. So we got 1 and 2, and then we've got these 2 plates here. So we've got 1 and 2. Now we're over here building this section up here. Okay, so it's interesting. 6:29 and then 6:30. They have us skipping ahead, but I don't think we're doing that yet. I think we're over here building something with the ears. So we are with the AliExpress. It does seem like we're kind of jumping around, and that's, like I said, it's not anything bad. It just means that it's a different. Like they have. The build's not different. It's just built at different times. So things are a little out of order. And it doesn't make it a bad build at all. Quite the opposite. It's kind of fun. But it still can feel off for some people. But like I said, the app works really well. And the book works really well too. You don't have to choose one over the other. Alright, now this is to clip into here. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, this is going to be cool. Okay. Now, we'll set that here. Got a head. And we should have one more of these. I got to kind of get up there and look. There it is. About to say, oh no. Can't have another missing one, but we got it. Okay, so this one gets this piece. It goes across. And then we got a 2x2. We're putting the 1x3 brick under here. And then our snot brick is going to be going right up under there. And then we've got our 2 clip plates, 1 and 2. They're clipping out and out. And then we've got that little 1x1 round stud that's going right into there. And then this is going to clip right into here and finish up the trim on this side of the head. So we're going to pop that into place. Make sure everything's nice and tight. There we go. Okay. And then kind of the same thing as the last one. 1 and 2 of these. Go ahead and clip them in. 1 and 2. Now, one thing I will say is that they had us building the other side first. We are going to be doing this one now, and then up ahead should be the other side. So that's just something to keep in mind, is that they flip-flopped the sides a little bit, but that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So we got this. We got our clip and our grill. Where is that grill? There it is. About to say. It's hard for me with the pinks because I mean they all look very similar to me. So I'm like, at first glance I'm like, I can't tell which pink that is. Okay, and then this one gets our lovely sticker. It tells us how many lives we got. So much like the actual Lego, we got our sticker. Boom. And this should fit right onto here. Is that right? Yep. Very cool. And then we got our two 1x2 plates. Now it seems like the last time we put these on beforehand, that seems like that would have made much more sense to put them on beforehand, because just a hand space, but they do switch things up every once in a while. This goes here. This one's going to go right up here. Boom. Now we're coming back to this and building the brow. So look at that. Isn't that cool? It's going to be pretty amazing, honestly. This is a pretty solid build. I said I've enjoyed this quite a bit. All right, now it shows us with lots of different pieces. So let's grab all of these pieces, because I have a feeling there is a method to the madness. Okay. There we go. So it looks like 1 and 2, and then we get the dark pink, or the kind of the magenta pink that goes on there. And this should go right up here above the eyes. So that's, I think that's what we were needing. There we go. Just like that. Now we'll do our two little ear clips. Now the ear clips, it seems, or is that hair? It's hair clips. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead. I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab our two pieces. 1 and 2. I'm going to put them on beforehand, and then we'll stick them on the head. And the reason why is because it might be easier than trying to stick them on afterwards. There you go. Just like that. And now we're building the rest. Okay. So we got this, and it looks like both of these. So we'll go 1, just like that. And we're kind of following along with this. We got this one that goes here. Now they have theirs out of order. Again, nothing wrong with that. Just a different order. In the end, we still end up with the same thing right there. Yep. See, we're already caught up. Right there. Boom. And then we got these two pieces that go here. So we got 1 and 2. And then we got our hinge plate that goes right there. And that's going to go right into here. So let's move those back. Set that into place. There we go. And then we got our very last sticker. It's our lightning bolt. Put it like this. I'm going to put it here so I can get our very last lightning bolt on. You see kind of where we put it. Boom and boom. Solid. Look at that. That is solid. Hey, that can go in the trash now. Oh. And yeah. Now we've got last pieces. So we've got these. We're going to move everything here. We're going to grab a heart plate, which is what we're doing here. Yep. And let's see. It's oriented. There we go. And then we've got this. Boom. We've got one of these that go on the end. Boom. And then 1 and 2. One and 2. And then we'll put this on top. Boom. And then we got a ball socket. And then on the back, we should have this that goes in here. Is that right? Yeah. And that's going to fit right down into here. So that, I think that's going to go right into here. Hold on. I need to go back to that. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there is a little bit, I was like, what in the world? There is a little bit of a gap there. And that's, the Lego one is also the same. So it's not anything any different. It's just, I was questioning it. It's like, wait a second. Something ain't right. But it was actually perfectly fine. Okay. Now we've got our other earpiece here. We should have 1 and 2 of these. So 1 is here, 2 goes here. This one goes right up on top. Got a ball socket in there. And then our last reversed 2x2 rounded tile right here. And this should go right in here. Boom. And then we've got this. And then we've got this. Press that down. I think this is it. I think this might actually be the very end, the very last thing to do. And it's like one of those, it's like, really? Is this really the very last thing to do? Let's do this. Let's make it official. Let's make it official. Okay? We're going to do this. Ready? That is going to fit up there. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's spectacular. You know what? I've got this one. I got one piece that was left over. Let's see if I can put it there. I know it's not part of the build, but I'm going to do it anyways. That's the cool thing about building blocks. I can make it my own. Right? Pull that forward. Push that down. Look, we got the carriage. Boom. Boom. Alright. Man. That is, hey, that is pretty spectacular. Let's hit it. This should give us our clapping. Oh. Hey. That is complete. That is a complete model. And here's the thing. Very close. Things that were different. Obviously, the plate here, not having the Lego. The kind of the color of the head is a little off. It's also very tight. The color sticker on the feet over here of Mecha Team, right? Like that part is, here, I'm going to pull it up just a little bit so we can look at it. That part right there, the color is off there. But other than that, like it's solid. The missing that one stud over there is kind of a pain. But yeah, I figure, you know what? Let me, oh, and then of course this, that being crooked. Here, I'll bring it over here. That being crooked is, I still haven't got that straightened. might have to take a heat gun to it, honestly. I really don't want to, just because I don't want it to be that messed up. But we got another brick separator, and we got, you know, cool minifig. And only way to get this minifig is with this particular set. So yeah, this is, man, this is great. This is a cool set so far. I, you know, play with it, see how it is. I'm digging it. It was a very satisfying build, to be quite honest. A very satisfying build. I love it. In the back of here, we just got, let's see, we'll pull that over here. Mecha Team there. Got pictures of where to put Mecha Team Leader and how to put the sword in the hand, and yeah, that is it. 8001. So that's done. Pretty quick. Great looking model. Like I said, I'll play with it for a little bit. I'll finally review it. That way we can figure out, hey, is this really worth the money put into it? I think so, me personally. I definitely think it's worth it, but that's just me. Hey, listen, I thank you all for showing up today. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications to be alerted if anything comes from me to you. Like this video, helps you to know what you like and what I'm making. Comment down below. What are you thinking about this? This thing is massive, by the way. I'm going to have to do like shots of this and put it on like TikTok and Insta and all that, because it is a massive model. It is so cool. It's, yeah, I'll have to measure it in the review, because it's big. It's really big. I mean, it goes up above my build table over here, which is insane. So yeah, comment. You know, I love chatting with you all. So if you got something you want to say about it, say it. Please say it. You can also help out channel by going down the links below. Getting something out of the Amazon shop, I get a small commission there. Not a lot, but hey, that stuff will add up over time. I can use that to buy some goodies for the channel, or services, or any other things we might need, replacing the lights, stuff like that. So that sort of stuff really does help out. Share this out with some people, right? We want to kind of grow our viewership, get that up and going. So anytime you share this out, I will definitely appreciate it. Okay. Listen, that's all I got to say about this. I'll come back with a review. I think I got the battle bus on the way. I don't know when it's going to drop off, but we'll start looking at that one here pretty soon too. Okay. Hey, I love you all. Jesus loves you more. There's nothing you can do about it. Good luck with the build, and happy brick hunting.